Happy Independence Day.
Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day.
Our special guest for today, Vivek Obraiji, he will join a little late, around 6:15. He confirmed actually last minute, so we could not include it in the circular. And our distinguished speakers of the day, Padma Shri and Arjuna Awardee, Miss Anjum Chopra, and former Miss India model and very popular actress, Miss Neha Dhupia, who are going to join us in a while as well. And again, my members, my seniors, for joining and for this beautiful occasion of Independence Day. And the entire crew of Andaze Azad for bringing our play live on freedom fighter Chandrasekhar Azad's life, and entire crew of Indian Fusion Band today. So how are you all feeling today? You are all excited for the Independence Day? Let's say it again. 1, 2, 3. Jai Hind! Welcome to our event where we are going to remember our path to independence, past 77 glorious years since independence, and celebrate the achievements and growth which India has achieved over the past 77 years. While we are all born in independent India, we will never be able to experience the hardships faced by our freedom fighters and our ancestors. Imagine a world restricted speech and expression, lack of economic opportunities, or having injustice and no freedom to do anything of your own choice. I'm sure thinking about this make a scare go through your spine, right? This is what makes Independence Day so special. And gaining this Independence Day was not easy. It is built on the pillars of all the struggles, the sacrifices, and the unwavering hope of our freedom fighters, which has been woven into the fabric of our nation. Today, we stand united, proud, and free, all because of the struggle they did for our great nation, India. One of the famous couplet which I like to just say on this occasion, which really brings that energy back into you, is सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है, सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है, देखना है जोर कितना बाजुए कातिल में है। सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है, देखना है जोर कितना बाजुए कातिल में है, which means the desire for martyrdom is now in our hearts. Let's see how much strength the arms of the enemy hold. With the emotions so high on this Independence Day, it's time to stand up for National Anthem of India, UAE and ICI motive. Can I ask everybody to please stand? And I have a special request on this Independence Day. I encourage everybody to sing the national anthem when it is played. So don't just listen. I want you all guys to be part of that rhythm, be part of that energy, and sing the national anthem when it is played. Technical team, please play the national anthems and the ICI motto.
य एष सुप्तेषु जागृति य एष सुप्तेषु जागृति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्विमाणः निर्विमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तदेव शुक्रदब्रह्मा तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनाद्यति कश्चन एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता.
Thank you so much. Now you may please take your seats. Did you feel the goosebumps when the national anthem played? Yes or no? Yes. That's the power of India. Now I'd like to inform you that our chairman is not here today because his mother is not feeling well, so he had to rush back to India, and he definitely wanted to join, but he could not join because of that reason. And our vice chairman, Jayaprakash Agarwal, he also could not join today because he has one medical emergency back home. So because of that, both our seniors are not able to be with us here today. But They are with us in their mind, in their thoughts, and they are with our energy. So I just wanted to inform you that. So I'll take the responsibility to announce the calendar in the coming months for your information. Our IFRS Audit Focus Group has planned an event on 22nd of August on the topic IFRS 9, IFRS 17, and IFRS 18, which talks about financial statements, presentation, and IFRS 17 is on the insurance contracts, and 9 is financial instruments. And then our tax focus group has planned an event on presentation and disclosure in financial statements. On the topic of dissecting financial statements in compliance with corporate tax. And there is another corporate tax event under planning on 31st August, which Chairman is working on. On 8th of September, our technology focus group is planning an event on custom chat GPT. And in September, our chapter is also planning master classes on transfer pricing. And another IFRS event is under planning on 14th of September. So that's about the event planned in the coming months. And I also like to take this moment to say special thank you to all our ExCom members who has worked tremendously with a lot of passion. Even our chairman, vice chairman, they were here, but they had to leave, but they were working night and day. I was in India, I came last night just to be part, though I was also working, but they have put a lot of effort. Can we have a big round of applause for the ExCom? Now, it's time to turn our attention to the stage for a momentous address by our today's chief guest, His Excellency Satish Kumar Sivanji, who is our Consulate General of India to Dubai. He has served in Indian missions in Beijing, Washington, D.C., and has been the Deputy Chief of Mission in Seoul as well. And we are honored to have his presence with us here today to share some of his thoughts on this very special occasion. Thank you so much, sir, for joining. And to do the formal introduction, can I request our very energetic member, C.A. Ashna, to join on the stage for his introduction. Give her a big round of applause as she walks onto the stage.
मैं उस देश की नागरिक हूँ जहाँ छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज, रानी लक्ष्मीबाई और सम्राट अशोक का वास था। मैं उस देश की नागरिक हूँ जहाँ पर हर 50 मील पर रूप, पहनावा, मजहब बदल जाता है। मैं उस देश की नागरिक हूँ जहाँ डाल डाल पर सोने की चिड़िया पाया जाता है। मैं उस देश की नागरिक हूँ जिसे अपने भूगोल से पहले ब्रह्मांड का भूगोल समझाया जाता है। A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As we stand here on the eve of India's Independence Day, let us reflect on the incredible progress we have made as a nation. Today, women all over India are breaking barriers, shattering stereotypes, and rewriting the narrative of what it means to be a woman in our society. We are chartered accountants, scientists, doctors, engineers, activists, and so much more today. We are the backbone of our families, the driving force in our communities, and believe me, we are becoming architects of our own destinies. Let us celebrate how far we have come, but also remember how far we have to still go. Let us continue toward the fight of equality, justice, and empowerment. Let us stand together united in our diversity as we work towards a brighter, more inclusive future for all. Today, we have amongst us His Highness Sri Satish Kumar Sivan. He assumed chair as a Consulate General of India to Dubai and the Northern Emirates on October 23. Mr. Sivan is a career diplomat with nearly 20 years of rich experience working in the government of India. Without taking up much of your time, let us welcome Mr. Satish Kumar Sivan.
I think we all hope that things are stable at the domestic end of Mr. Rajesh Somani and Mr. Jayaprakash's home. So my thoughts are with them. In the meanwhile, Mr. Rishi Chawla, dear members of ICA Dubai chapter, Mr. Siddharth Balachandran, my friend, the distinguished speakers who are going to follow me, ladies and gentlemen. Namaskar, good evening. I'm glad to join you today for this special celebration of 78th Independence Day of India, where we have a chat with distinguished speakers, a musical play on the life of one of the most revolutionary and celebrated freedom fighter, Sri Chandrasekhar Azad, and a musical evening to Capitol. Independence Day celebrations actually should be like this. They should be an occasion for us to reflect on the trials and tribulations both during the freedom struggle and post-independence, be grateful for the sacrifices of our forefathers by understanding about their life, have open, frank conversations about the progress our nation has achieved, the challenges that still hinder our path, and pledge ourselves towards nation building. It is common knowledge that in 1947, the Western world, especially our colonial masters, had predicted imminent doom for the country, considering the internal contradictions that we had. Churchill did predict bloodbath between communities on India's partition and independence, as the British knew exactly the destabilizing consequences of divisive politics and governance which they carried out in India since partition of Bengal in 1905, if not earlier. While even more scathing remarks on India is attributed to Churchill, wherein he is said to have mentioned that, I quote, "If independence is granted to India, power will go to the hands of rascals, rogues, freebooters. All Indian leaders will be of low caliber and men of straw. They will fight amongst themselves for power, and India will be lost in political squabbles. A day would come when even air and water would be taxed in India." While these may or may not be entirely his words, it does betray the general thought process that the government and leaders in Britain had about the ability of Indians to govern themselves. The country was ravaged by the horrors of partition, wherein an estimated 2 million people died and more than 15 million people were forcibly uprooted and thrown away from their ancestral lands, resulting in the largest displacement and migration in human history. After gross misgovernance for close to a century from all socio-economic and political parameters, and dragging India into Europe's wars and artificially creating the world's worst famines, consuming lives of millions of Indians, nobody would have given India a chance to survive, leave alone flourish. We stand here today having weathered monumental challenges and crises which shook the very core of our republic. The first thing that our founding fathers did was to unify a fractured country and create a strong foundation on which a liberal, plural democracy could be built. Thanks to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, we created a soul which reflected the civilizational ethos, but also brought together the best of modern democratic governance. This resulted in creation and sustenance of a thriving, inclusive electoral democracy rooted in principles of justice, liberty, equality, and strong rule of law. India is a beacon of hope today for the rest of the world, where political disagreements can be addressed through debates and many forms of democratic expressions without fear. As we commemorate the 78th year of independence and prepare ourselves in the Amrit Kal period to achieve a Viksit Bharat by 2047, let us look at some of the achievements of this young, yet world's largest, modern, vibrant, liberal democracy. Though we constitute 1/6 of mankind and have 1.4 billion people, an estimated 50% of the population are below the age of 25. This is a remarkable demographic dividend that will propel India's high sustained growth, averaging 7% over the next few decades. As a result, Indian economy will touch $4 trillion and surpass Japan next year and pass Germany by 2027 to become the world's third largest economy behind US and China. India could even match United States in PPP terms by our 100th year of independence. Is this just mindless GDP growth? No. India rose from 81st position in 2015 to 40th position in 2023 in the Global Innovation Index. India ranks third position in the global number of scientific publications. Patent filing fueled by AI and digital revolution rose to 83,000 in recent financial year with an annual growth rate of 25%, the highest in 2 decades. India's space exploits through Exposat, Chandrayaan, Mangalyaan, Gaganyaan, and Aditya missions are unmatched by any country and opens new territories for space exploration. There are 140,000 startups registered with DPIIT with 110 unicorns valued at $350 billion, the third largest in the world. Jandan, Aadhaar, Mobile, or Jam Trinity has rewritten the model of financial inclusion with 500 million people brought into the banking sector. Thanks to aggressive and targeted socio-economic policies, nearly 250 million people came out of multidimensional poverty over the last decade. Nari Shakti will drive India's resurgence this century. We passed the legislation to reserve 33% seats for women in parliament and state legislatures. This will change the course of global history and write a new chapter in women's empowerment. This political revolution is matched by socio-economic policies. In the last 10 years, 100 million women have become financially independent through self-help group programs. 39% MSMEs today are owned by women and 34% hold corporate board positions. RuPay and UPI will challenge global financial payments hegemony of 2 companies and make digital financial transactions affordable, secure, reliable, and fast. Our successful conduct of free and fair general elections, the largest such exercise in the world, gives hope to the free world on the future of democracy. I can go on about the reasons one can feel proud to be an Indian anywhere in the world. Suffice to say that India is an economic superpower on the rise, a force for global good, and a voice for the global south. India is respected as a trusted and reliable partner, going by our response to global challenges, be it climate change, lending a helping hand during COVID-19 and multivarious global disaster responses. I believe Indians within the country and across the world should continue to play their role as we march in this irreversible path to become Viksit Bharat by 2047. We need to harness the power of our youth, as ignited minds are the most potent resource in the world. I am sure educating them about the sacrifices of the masses during the freedom struggle, like the play and the conversations today, can be the right spur. I congratulate the ICAI team for their efforts and commend them for conceptualizing such meaningful engagements to spread awareness throughout the year, be it the Women's Day, the budget conversations, Yoga Day, or our National Day celebrations. I once again extend my warm greetings to all Indians and all friends of India on our 78th Independence Day. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, His Excellency Satish Kumar Sivanji, for such a motivational address and telling us the story of the growth story of, in fact, of India. Thank you so much for sharing. Now I'd like to request our ExCom members, C.A. Ashna, Surinder Jain Saab, and Sushant from Uranus. Can you please join on the stage to present a memento to His Excellency on behalf of all of us as members? Big round of applause. Thank you for the great address. All right, we have a lot of freshly qualified chartered accountants who has joined us on this momentous occasion with us. And we want to use this moment to thank them for joining to our fraternity, first of all, and secondly to our chapter. I'm sure you guys are feeling the energy, right? Say louder, yes. Louder, yes. Yes, super. Can you please join on the stage? We have a small token of a memento for all of you. And can I also request our past chairman to please also join on the stage to present this memento? Our seniors can always give that energy to the people who have really recently been qualified. Let's take a group picture quickly. Yes, that's the welcome. Thank you so much. Superb. Do well, do great for yourself and for our India. All right, we are privileged to have the presence of our guest of honor today with us, Shri Siddharth Balachandranji. He held many prominent positions in UAE, and one of the things that really makes him stand out is that he is the only awardee from GCC region in 2023 to receive the Parvasi Bharatiya Samman Award by the President of India, Srimati Draupadi Murmu. Before I welcome him onto the stage for saying a few words, I'd like to request our very energetic EXCOM member, CA Balaram Vuchidi, to do his formal introduction. Give him a big round of applause to Bala.
Honor the past, cherish the present, and shape the future. Happy Independence Day to all of you. Good evening, dear ladies and gentlemen. Introducing Mr. Siddharth Balachandran as the speaker for the celebration of India's 78th Independence Day is both an honor and privilege. As the Executive Chairman and CEO of Bumeric Corporation Limited, Mr. Balachandran has over 20 years of experience in strategy, development, and leadership, driving his organization to global success. His remarkable journey from an employee to the owner of a diverse business conglomerate headquartered in DIFC is a testament to his visionary leadership and entrepreneurial spirit. In recognition of his outstanding contributions to business and community welfare, Mr. Balachandran was conferred the prestigious Pravas Bharatiya Samman Award by President of India in 2023. Notably, he is the only recipient from GCC region this year, and one of the youngest ever to receive this honor underscores his significant impact as an NRI leader. Beyond his business acumen, Mr. Balachandran is also a dedicated philanthropist. His contributions span various causes, including child and elder welfare, healthcare, environmental conservation, both in India and UAE. His recent donation of 10 million dirhams to Mothers Endowment Campaign, launched by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, highlights his commitment to supporting community development and sustainability charity. Mr. Balachandran's achievements are not just personal milestones, but a source of inspiration for many. His story of perseverance, combined with his deep sense of responsibility towards society, makes him an exemplary leader and a true patriot. His presence at this event will undoubtedly add immense value and inspire audience to pursue his excellence in their respective fields. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Mr. Siddharth Balachandran onto the stage.
Thank you. Very kind introduction. Looking at all the new CA joinees to the fraternity, I was thinking women empowerment at its best. So congratulations. Honorable Consul General, my friend, Mr. Satish Kumar Shivan, Chairman and Vice Chairman of the ICAI in absentia, my prayers are with them. Dignitaries, brothers and sisters of the CA fraternity, thank you for giving me another opportunity to indulge in my favorite pastime, which I think has become an obsession, that is talking up India. You know, I'm a firm believer in the very cliched but true adage that excellence is a journey, it's a continuous journey, and it has milestones. And at each of these milestones, one introspects, possibly retrospects as well, and mulls over the situation. So this is, some people do it consciously, some people do it subconsciously. I indulge in this quite a lot. And during one of my introspective bouts, I had a revelation about mediocrity. Mediocrity is something that affects each of us at various times. But you know, the realization that I had was that mediocrity is far more common than previously thought. We try to run away from it, but it happens all the same. Now, this is not a bad thing. And coincidentally, this hits you after every significant milestone. You can think about it once, if at all you have a chance to, at some point. Now, how does one deal with this? Very simple, but very difficult. To understand that this is a passing phase. There is no permanence in this phase of mediocrity. And once you have that understanding, summon all your strength, metaphorically reach inwards, yank it, and dismiss it from your presence. Easier said than done, but this is the only way. And I believe that this holds true not only for individuals. I believe this holds true for countries as well. I believe India is in this yanking out mediocrity phase. Just a matter of time before the mediocrity, if at all remnant, is dismissed from India's presence. So that process is going on. You know, every country has different stages in its life cycle. You have the creation, of course, and subsequent to the creation, there is a survival phase, which the Consul General had just spoken about. It was quite tumultuous for us. However, after the survival phase, you have something called the stabilization phase, where the initial turmoil sort of subsides, and then the country starts thinking about slightly more than basic things. If it was food, clothing, and shelter in the survival phase, it slightly becomes economic well-being, stabilization of procedures, sort of slightly technical after that. And then comes the emergence phase. India is firmly in that emergence phase now. We are in the process of dismissing mediocrity, and we are replacing that mediocrity with sustained excellence. Every milestone that India has had, this has been the driving force behind that event. Now, in this emergence phase, numbers don't matter or cease to matter. The GDP of 4 trillion, number 5 in the world economy status, the stock market reaching 5.4 trillion in terms of market cap, all pale into insignificance. Because in the emergence phase, the only thing that matters is magnification. And this magnification is something that has to be experienced. We are in that golden period. And this golden period has just begun, no, by the way. It is to last probably decades. I hope it lasts decades. So we are in this magnification phase where 2047 may not be the year where we become the largest economy in the world, because the magnification is associated with multiplication as well, compounding, a term that chartered accountants are very familiar with. Compounding takes off on a different level. So you are talking about the possibility that 2030 may be the 7 trillion economy mark. Maybe. 2040 could be the 25 trillion economy mark. And I don't say these figures just for the sake of saying it. The kind of growth that we have now, the double-digit 10%, 11%, whatever is being propounded, has the possibility, has the potential to reach 15 to 16%. And after that, you just need to calculate. So we are talking about a situation where India is in that sweet spot, where people, us Indians, we're very aware of our GDP now. Answer me truthfully, and this is a rhetoric question. How many of us knew our GDP in 2010? Even if we did we even put any relevance to it? No. Because we had probably just started going into that emerging phase. Now it's well and truly entrenched here. So you have a situation where the GDP to market capitalization has reached now almost 120 to 130%. It had never been like that in India. It is now. So if that is being the figure, You're talking about 25 trillion market cap for the stock market by 2040 if we fulfill our GDP potential. So I understand this is all a lot of figures and metaphors going around. But I'd like to just underline it with one basic fact. India reaching this stage is not a number game. It is a necessity for this world. Why? Because we are a force for good in this world. We will achieve change. We will achieve the zenith, but we will always do it with a smile. I don't think the West can claim to that. Before I conclude, I would like to thank you all for having turned out here today on this momentous celebration of our 78th independence, invoking the blessings, invoking the presence of each and every person who gave their life for us to be here. God bless the UAE. God bless India. God bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Siddharth Balachandranji, for such a important and enlightening session and just sharing those thoughts with us. Thank you so much. That was very encouraging. I'd like to request Bala is there with me to please join me on the stage, and also like to request James Matthew and Bilal Moti. Can you please also join in the stage? He's from one of our sponsors, Windmills. Basically to give a memento on behalf of all of us for Siddharth for such a great address. Give him a big round of applause, guys. And we also welcome Anjum. She has already joined, the great cricketer. We're going to hear from her later in the evening. And I'd like to also thank Yaqub Ali for joining us with today. And thank you so much. So Yaqub sir, can you please also join on the stage with us, if you don't mind? All right, let's move to the next session, which is going to be really a very catchy, and it will really grab your attention, I'm sure about it. It's going to be from Anjum. Great things are not done in one day, but it's an act of rigorous efforts, and same applies aptly to nation building. There are great stories of our freedom fighters, how they have contributed towards independence and the roots of nation building. One such popular story I'm sure you must have read is about the Gandhi Salt Satyagraha. One of the most iconic events in independence movement, the Dandi March, also known as Salt March, was led by Mahatma Gandhi ji in 1930. The march was a non-violent protest against the British salt tax. Gandhi and his followers marched 240 miles from Sabarmati Ashram to the coastal village of Dandi, where they made salt from seawater, defying British laws. The Dandi March became a pivotal movement in the struggle of independence and one of the nation-building acts which laid the foundation of a non-violent India. To share more on spirit of independence and nation building, we have a very popular cricketer from India. She is a Padma Shri and Arjuna awardee, Miss Anjum Chopra, who hails from Delhi. We know how cricket connects with every Indian and how it knit us together. She has astounding record in cricket and has played 6 World Cups for India. While I want to talk, That's the power of achievement. Thank you so much, Anjum. Really appreciate you joining us. Well, I want to talk a lot about her, but we have a very stylish ExCom member, C.A. Sanjay Gagrani, who insisted that he likes to do the introduction. So give him a big round of applause when he joins on the stage for the introduction of Anjum. Big round of applause means big one. Thoda tali baja do, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Bande Mataram. That's the जोश. गूंज रहा है इस दुनिया में भारत का नगाड़ा, चमक रहा है आसमान में देश का सितारा. स्वतंत्रता दिवस की खुशी में सबको मेरा सलाम, हर दिल में बसे मेरा भारत महान, मेरा भारत महान. Ladies and gentlemen, salam, namaskar, good evening once again. Today we gather here to celebrate our Independence Day. And it's my privilege to introduce a remarkable individual who has not only made her mark on the cricket field, but also stand as a symbol of excellence in our nation. In Bharat, there is one religion that unites us all, and that is cricket. When the tricolor waves on the field, caste, religions, language fade away. We are all one, bound by shared passion that beats in our hearts in the game of cricket. And we say with the pride, Jeetega bhai jeetega. That's the spirit. So Anjum Chopra is a name of synonyms with the women's cricket in India. As a former captain of the India's women's cricket team, she has carved out a legacy of the very few can match. With a career spanning over 17 years, Anjum has graced the cricket field in 6 World Cup, has the unique distinction of being the first woman cricketer from India to play 100 one-day international. She scores also an ODI century. Her leadership led India to first ever international test series victory, marking her the most successful Indian test skipper. Just wait, beyond her cricketing achievement, Anjum has made significant stride off the field as well. She is India's first female sportscaster and highly respected cricket analyst. Her contribution to the game extends to co-authoring the coffee table book, Women's Cricket World, a journey from 1745 to 2013. She has also acted in the docudrama, Poor Causing of $1 Million Babies, the film which received a national level award in Hoyo Film Festival. We always say that those who are good in the sport, they are not very good in the academic. Just wait for here. Anjum academic is really impressive as well. She has graduated with Delhi Public School, St. Stephen's College, and MBA in Human Resources and Marketing from Foray School of Management. She has proven herself to be a woman of many talent. She has even participated in very popular reality show, Fear Factor, Khatron Ke Khiladi Season 4, showcasing her adventurous spirit. In the corporate arena, Anjum is a sought-after motivational speaker, consultant, having worked with the global companies like GE, Standard Chartered, Goldman Sachs. She has also used her platform to champion women's cause, serving as a goodwill ambassador in South Africa to raise awareness for breast cancer. Breaking the barriers in the male-dominated sport, Anjum Chopra is the first woman cricketer from India to be awarded honorary life membership for prestigious Marylebone Cricket Club Award at Lord's, London. Her contribution, you can clap many times, I know. Her contribution for further recognized with the BCCI Lifetime Achievement Award in 2020. Today, as a member of Managing Committee of the Lotus Valley School, Anjum continued to inspire the next generation, proving that there are no limits where one can achieve with dedication and passion. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a rise and give a welcome, joining with both your thundering round of applause, the actor, awardee, then author, Padma Shri and Arjuna awardee, commentator, Anjuman Chopra.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. His Excellency, of course, from the fraternity of the IAS, of course, business leaders, chartered accountants, friends, cricketers, followers of cricket. Thank you so much for having me here. Of course, the organization has been very kind. They've been such incredible host that I've just taken the liberty of self-inviting myself in whichever chapter this is held in the future, or whichever country, nation we are going to be venturing out. So thank you so much. And I say this very openly, really. It's absolutely been, last 24 hours have been absolutely brilliant being a guest. So the biodata has already been told. But first and foremost, where I would like to pick up is from where Mr. Siddharth was talking about the fact of mediocrity. I think coming from you, sir, and at this forum when we're discussing of such an important aspect of life, probably, and we're talking about one of the best, gatherings we could get in a city in the UAE, and we're talking about the importance of not being mediocre. I think it's absolutely essential, and how we can pave our way through forward, leaving mediocrity not even miles behind, but not even letting it come around us is probably the next step. So in your next address, I would be really keen to listen to the fact that how can mediocrity be left aside? Because it's catching up and it's going beyond. And I don't think we can afford it as individuals, as a nation, or in any field. Right, I've been asked to speak about my journey. Well, a cricketer's journey or a sports person's journey is no different to probably most of us in this room. But as my former principal used to say, I'm from Delhi Public School, R.K. Puram, Dr. Saini has always said that Padhoge, likhoge, banoge nawab. I can translate it in English later if somebody doesn't understand. Padhoge, likhoge, banoge nawab, kheloge, kudoge, banoge lajawab. So he actually was he is a sports person. Of course, he's retired from the principal post now, but he always says that, if I give you a textbook at the start of an academic year and I say, if I can use the word amongst intelligent people, ratta mar lo, pass ho jaoge. Because that's the only thing. Ratta meant just marking up the entire 50, 60, 80 pages that you could manage. And those 80 pages for sports people like me used to come into 8 pages 2 or 3 days before exams. That's how concise studies were. And I didn't need to get, before I reached a management institute, I knew exactly what JIT meant, just in time. I knew exactly how the delegation would happen and who will teach me when, where, making sure that I pass. Sorry, sir, I know it's not the right forum because I have such educationists sitting in front of me, but that's actually utilizing your time to the best. So if I give you a textbook at the start of an academic year and I say, here it is, there are 10 textbooks in front of you, make sure you read it, memorize it, understand it, or make sure you remember it. And I tell you that your question paper will be drafted from this textbook only. Is it easy or difficult? As I said, depends what is written in those pages. He says, come to the sports field and you practice and practice and practice, be it any sport, doesn't necessarily need to be cricket, be it any sport. And I tell you, go and play a match. For example, cricket, let's stick to my game. You don't know whether the bowler is going to bowl a fuller length delivery, a half tracker, a full toss. He or she might be targeting your head with a bouncer, whichever one. And you have to be ready with all the answers. You have to be making a decision of playing the ball or leaving the ball in less than fraction of a second. So how would you do that? What is more easy or what is more difficult? I still felt playing was much easier than going and giving a mathematics exam which had trigonometry and differentiation included and all that. That was very difficult for me because till date I've never understood why sine theta by cos theta equals to tan theta. Still not understood it, and why was I made to learn that in 9th grade? But I'm sure it is used somewhere So playing for me was probably easy, but why I would draw a parallel to the academic world and sports world is it's actually very true because you don't know. I might be practicing 10 hours a day or 12 hours a day, playing a match every second day to hone my skills and become a better player. But I don't know whether when I walk into the game, whether the first ball is going to take my wicket or not, or whether I'm going to walk off the park holding my bat high. So that's the kind of insecurity, that's the kind of difficulty in the profession that we probably have. And on top of it, when we talk about making sure we win a World Cup, it's about handling that pressure. And I can openly say it, we sports people thrive under pressure. We love it when that scenario comes and that situation comes that you have to deliver. And I stress on the word called have to deliver. Because that's something that gets the best out of us, most of us. Without naming international male cricketers, you would know their names. If you've been following the sport of cricket, Indians or abroad or foreign teams, there are legends of the game. And we know they've always delivered on the stage. So for us, it's about imbibing that pressure and delivering in those crunch moments. But it doesn't come easy. Obviously, hours and hours of practice, physical, mental, and being ready to adapt in different conditions. It's easier said than done. But I guess that's what makes it slightly more difficult from the books world and the sports world. And as a female cricketer, or a female sports person, when I was taken to a cricket ground, Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, by my mother when I was 9 years old on one of the Saturday afternoons, those days when we used to travel by a DTC bus, which would come on time and take us to the place on time with less or no traffic on the street. It just gave me a pathway, and she said, you want to go and play cricket? Make sure you become the best at it. There was obviously no women's cricket team that I knew of at that point of time till the time I was told that, yes, there is an Indian team. And I'm talking about, well, the sport in India, women's cricket came into being as an Indian team in 1971, and 1973, the Indian men's cricket team was formed. So women started playing cricket. In fact, Mr. W.G. Grace, who we always hear as Lord's Cricket Ground, his mother was his coach. So, cricket actually goes back from the time when women used to play, or they started playing, or they were the ones who introduced men to the sport. But they used to play in longer frocks or dresses, but so they couldn't get there. When they used to bowl underarm, they couldn't bowl overarm, and they realized that it was very difficult. So that's the difficulty they had, and then they started bowling overarm, and then, of course, men took over the game, and it's a different game altogether. But it's never been that very easy for women to make a mark. So the first name that I learned when I ventured into the field of sport was of P.T. Usha. And since P.T. Usha finished 4th, we have enough 4th positions in the recent Olympics. It didn't really matter, but it just showed a goal. You want to be like P.T. Usha, you want to become like an Ashwini Nachappa, you want to better them. It didn't matter which sport it was, but you could just go and become better at it. For me, I looked at it as the fact that it allowed me to stay away from studying. So I thought sports is better, let's go and play. But parents being parents, they have always been very strict. And I'm sure a few of these questions were given to me in the last 24 hours, not given as in to address here, but they were asked. From the airport till here, I was asked by at least 3 people, how do we get our little ones on the park to make sure that they want to play, if they want to play cricket, how do we make sure that they come onto the park? Well, it's just about getting them to the ground and telling yourself that it will take time. After 7 or 8 months, we finish one academic session, but after 7 or 8 years, we might see some result in a sports person, because it only starts with under 12, under 15, 19, 23, and the and the grades go up. It's not that you step onto the park and you become Sachin Tendulkar. It doesn't happen that way. It takes years and years of relentless hard work, persistence, and more importantly, the passion for the sport. So that has to be number one. If a player is passionate about the game, whichever game he or she likes to play, I'm sure they'll find the pathway, but the first step has to obviously be shown by the parents. And yeah, there I was from a 9-year-old. I mean, the support from my parents has always been there. I wouldn't be here without their support, their guidance, and even today, just showing me the real pathway. So it's always nice to have that family support, because when you fail and come back, it's only them who you can make a phone call to and ask, how can I come back stronger the next day? And it's only them who will give you the unconditional advice favoring you, which you will always need to rely upon. And that reliance does not stop from your first match or finish after you make your debut for India or whatever. It starts from your very first match and it just goes on and on. It's like a bottomless glass. Keep the advice coming in. So that's how important it is, the family support. To coming to a nation building part, how crucial cricket is, I don't need to tell anyone. I think cricket unites nations, cricket unites countries, cricket unites people. And that's why probably our community always feels very happy that when we win, and especially when India wins, the tricolour flies, we know how happy the nation is. It's not only our own happiness, it's the nation's happiness. And the high that as a sports person you get from bringing a smile on the other person's face and a nation's face is unparalleled. There is no bigger high than probably me going out there, getting 100, not out, getting my team to win the match, getting my team to win the tournament, the people appreciating my effort, and the nation just standing tall by itself because we've won. And those 11 people on the park, 15 as a team, and the support staff in totality are the ones who've brought the proud moment to the nation. We've just witnessed it, not once, but we've been fortunate to witness it more than once in the last 3 months. The Indian team winning the World Cup, men's cricket team, Neeraj Chopra winning the silver medal at the Olympics, and of course Manu Bhakar and the others, Harmanpreet Singh winning the bronze. So we've been fortunate. But it doesn't come that easy. I must also share the fact that while the success does come, and it seems very nice because we all love good stories, the way we start, the way we finish. At the end of the day, coach telling you where not to move and just stand because the ball will be hit in your direction and you can stop that goal to win the gold medal. While it looks very nice, it doesn't happen that way. And I have been in that position where I've actually not won a World Cup. Playing 6 World Cups, not winning a single World Cup can actually say that what a poor cricketer I could have been, or ordinary team it could have been, but it hasn't been like that. We've been in the finals once against Australia in 2005, at a final which till date we feel that we should have won. But to emerge out of that heartbreak, which it continues from 2005 till 2024, until the time probably India wins the World Cup, women's that is, will continue. But it's only the belief that next morning when you wake up, it'll be a new day, and the belief that maybe things will turn around. And I'm hearing and I'm hoping that Vinesh Fogart, and I just read a statement that she might still want to come back and compete in the next Olympics, which will be the biggest example that I'm just talking about, that even if you lose, the pride of playing for India is far greater than the loss that we incur on that particular day. It's a heartbreak, and it's only felt and it's only understood when you're in that zone. So some people say that you shouldn't have acted like this. You should be kind. In defeat, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way at all, because when you lose or when you are unable to get the success, it not only hurts, it pinches. And it pinches real hard. So there is always a reaction from a player, and sometimes we've seen that reaction over the television, and a lot of people play it over and over and dwell upon it. But as a sports person, I can tell you, next morning is different, but what about that night? How do you get through that night? It's never easy. Because the tears are always in isolation, the smiles are always in public. And those have to be identified and kept on the side. Because as a sports person, you're only supposed to rise up, come out smiling, look brilliant, and make sure that you get the medal or the success for your team and for your country the next day. But it's still nice. Even if you fail, it's still nice, because the hope of coming back and winning a medal the next morning is good enough to make you get out of that bed and start taking those laps and hope that you can turn things around for yourself and for your team. I'm hoping that it's interesting, what I'm saying. But what, no, I don't, I'm not looking for those applause, but what I wanted to get is actually your thought. Your thought, if there is any. How would you feel that, how would you react when India loses? How would you react when we didn't win a gold? How would you react when anyone is unable to achieve a target?
Really feels sad, definitely, and gets you down, but also it's like we want to get it one day. The inspiration to do it again is still there, though of course we feel bad when we lose. Yeah.
In fact, we are chartered accountants, all of us here. I think we know the value of coming again and again and again and clearing the chartered accountancy. So when it comes to failure,
Ma'am, that's a killer line. You've done it for the evening, completely. Absolutely. That's the killer line that I've heard all evening. I wish I'd heard it before walking into this session. I would have used it the first thing I had done.
Definitely, that is one of the memories I don't want to live again. But yeah, that's life. We have to keep going, win the World Cup. Like Indian men's, we won the World Cup recently. And they lost the earlier one, but they kept the motion going. And of course, the way you stand, the way you stood and talk, it shows your passion is always there. And you're definitely contributing one way or the other. I must say that.
Thank you.
All right, just to make it interesting, I just kept some questions for you, if that's okay.
Sure.
To say. As one of the longest serving captains of the Indian women's cricket team, what were the biggest challenges you faced and how did you overcome, especially with the government authorities and you have to continue to develop the team and to get the funds to keep going? How did you do it all this time?
See, the one most simple idea was, as I said, as a 9-year-old, when I stepped onto the park, was to play the game and play for India. So whether the government was supporting, whether anyone was playing for the country or not, it really didn't matter, because I just wanted to play for India and I just wanted to make sure that I was the best. So now, and of course, the cricket board is BCCI, and BCCI took the Women's Cricket Association of India, which was the body which used to run cricket till 2005. Then ICC, that's the International Cricket Council, merged the International Women's Cricket Council under its wings, and so we came under BCCI, and now since 2006, BCCI has been running the women's game as well. So there's definitely a massive difference, because there is infrastructure, there is facility, there is a proper structure to playing the game, and the sport has also seen those advancements. For us, I've been in an era where there was no BCCI and there has been a BCCI, and I know the difference has obviously been very good. But the fact that you just want to play for India, I think that's good enough as a driving force. It really didn't matter what was happening around, who was coming. I knew my train ticket was booked, and if it wasn't booked because we lost the match and we had to return back, so the kit bag was always there. Since we were not tall enough, we could sleep on the kit bags in an unreserved compartment as long as the train was getting us back to Delhi. I'm from Delhi. And then you just land up the very next day picking up your kit bag, because the kit bag didn't have wheels in those days, so you have to lift up your kit bag over your shoulder and get to the ground and the coach would say, you didn't do well, make sure you run laps. So it was just the start, the very next day all over again. But it did hurt coming back in an unreserved compartment, especially in the winters, or sometimes even no seats. You could stand next to the lavatory and come back, but that was the hard lesson, but a good lesson to be learned to valuing how we travel these days.
Ashna, you have a question.
Yeah, we have seen so many cricketers as leaders, starting from Kapil Dev to Mitali Raj to Smriti Mandana, so many, of course, with you along. What are these qualities that make us a leader? What are these qualities that you have to develop in yourself as well as your team members?
अच्छा हुआ आपने मेरा नाम ले लिया बीच में, वरना मैं question ही answer नहीं करती. See, I don't know whether we can definitely talk about Mr. Kapil Dev as a legend, as a great cricketer. The other names, we are still work in progress. I just feel that, you know, you just have to be at it. There is no formula of success. There is no formula of making sure that you succeed. It's just backing yourself and working day in, day out. As I said, we can get to the nets. I can play a match every second day, make sure that my skills are sharper and sharper each day, but there's no guarantee. The moment I walk in, the moment you've seen players, leg stump please, take guard, take stance. I'm sure people watch cricket. There's no guarantee that the moment I adjust my helmet and I stand, the first ball is not going to get me. It can get me, because that can be an error in judgment. The bowler could have been too quick, the spinner could be much better, my skill could have been lesser in comparison to their skill. So there is no guarantee. It's just that there are nice English words: self-belief, motivation, process. You just pack all those words in our kit bag, handbag these days, because kit bags are strolled by people who help us these days. So we just pack those words in our handbag and take it with us. You don't know which word is utilized when, where. If it comes off, we say it was a process. If it doesn't come off, we say the belief is there. And if absolutely it fails, we say there is enough motivation to come back stronger. So we choose the word.
Thank you so much. Balram, you have a question?
Anjum bhai, it was inspirational. I'm here.
Yep.
Yeah. So your journey was really inspirational for us, and I would like to ask you, what was one of the proudest moment as a captain of the India women's cricket team, in addition to leading the team and playing for the nation?
I would request you to repeat that, my friend.
Yeah. What was one of the proudest moment as a captain of the team?
Proudest moment?
Yep.
Wearing the India cap. Wearing the India cap, earning the India blazer. It was in 1995 when I made my debut, and I still remember. Nowadays, we as broadcasters, we magnify it and we glorify it nicely, because that's our job. But nowadays, you must have seen the camera going, because we have cameras hanging over the players' heads, or there is a huddle players, and then there is a speech, and the cap is handed over. So it's a nice event which happens to hand over a cap to a player, whoever is making their debut. But for us, it came in a handbag. And the handbag had a name over it. So in the dormitory of Nehru Stadium, it came in a handbag which had a Panama cap, a county cap, one white t-shirt, one trouser, one colored clothing set. And that was it. So there didn't need to be any felicitation or a celebration of sorts. But the moment the blazer arrived, the India blazer arrived, and the tailor said, I've got everyone's blazers, they didn't have those names. Only the inside of the blazer had a name just to identify whose it is. But the moment I wore my India blazer, and I walked down the corridor of Nehru Stadium, because obviously there was no mirror, so I had to ask, "Theek lag raha hai? Deela to nahi hai?" And everyone said, "Bahut badhiya." वो बात अलग थी that the sleeve was here. But bahut badhiya was the crest, because at least I was wearing the crest. And It really didn't matter, वो sleeves fold करके यहाँ पहन लो, वैसे भी किसने मिलना है. Such events used to happen, but for a very short time. When an Indian team travels, sir would know about it. He must have hosted many players or teams. So that was the brightest, the most glorious moment, one of those glorious moments, the day I wore my India blazer. Because it had the crest, the color, of course, blue, and India written.
Wow.
And that day I wore my India blazer, again a new one came, because I was captain. India के नीचे captain भी लिखा था. वो तो मैंने उतारा ही नहीं टॉस के बाद. टॉस के पहले पहना था, टॉस के बाद तक उतारा नहीं. कह रहे जाना है अंदर, ये पहन के नहीं जा सकते. You have to wear your whites only. So it's one of those moments which will, it's still there. Although the sleeves are still very long, the blazer is still very long. The tailor said, ऐसी चला लो, कुछ नहीं होता. But that will always remain, because I don't think, I've been fortunate that there have been very special moments along the way, but probably that just stays right on top.
Thank you. That was really inspiring. Many cricketers, let's take a cricket one. Many cricketers have their own superstitions, right? Like Sachin Tendulkar, bands like this. What do you have done, and why you do it? That's the question.
वो ऐसा लगता है रन इसी से बन जाएंगे. ऐसे हेलमेट कर लो, ऐसे ग्लव्स पहन लो, ऐसा लगता है कि रन इसी से बन जाएंगे. अगर गलती से लेफ्ट ग्लव पहन लिया पहले तो रन नहीं बनेंगे, कुछ तो गलत हो जाएगा, ध्यान वहाँ चला जाता है. So I don't think people don't have processes or rituals. I don't say everyone, but everyone does have. And it's not only about sports people. I think most of us, when we step out of our house, we must be having a process. That's a nice word. आजकल मैंने बोला ना मैम हैंडबैग में लेके चलते हैं. Process. So वैसे लेके चले जाते हैं. But for me, it was about doing my homework right. If my homework was good, I knew that the chances of succeeding are more. Baki, you just keep getting those rituals right. Not really, I didn't really have a superstition, but I just felt that if my rituals were right, of course, just praying before you leaving the hotel room or getting to the ground, making sure you sit, you're not rushed into the team bus, or you're not rushed getting off the team bus for a warm-up session. So you have your own space and time, and nobody telling me exactly what to do.
I agree with you. Superstitions actually are there. I mean, even I love cricket, but I am not a sportsman like you. But still, when I walk out, there are certain things which ensures my mind is in the right direction. So that's really nice. Thank you very much. Ashna, you have a question? Big round of applause. You can clap. She is here to inspire us, and she is doing. Don't stop your hands. Let it go.
So my question is, we all know that cricketers should have like an iron heart. वो last ball पे छक्का मारना, four मारना, to win the match, to keep your head cool. Who do you all really derive inspirations from throughout your career? And how has someone actually influenced your journey in sports?
So the influence has been my family, my parents, of course. I belong to a family of sports people. My grandfather, maternal grandfather, was a Commonwealth Games, Asian Games athlete and a cricket commentator. My mother has won a car rally. My dad is a golfer. Brother played cricket for Delhi under 17, 19. And my uncle, my mom's younger brother, my maternal uncle, played cricket till the India A level. So there has been a family of sports people. अच्छा उन्होंने मुझे नहीं रोका. तो जाके खेल ले. So the inspiration has been from home. But when you say about keeping your head or heart cool or calm, well, let me tell you, there's nothing cool and there's nothing calm. There's a storm brewing, there is a rush of blood. And I must tell you one secret. When batters actually walk down the pitch, you must have seen, it's called gardening. It's again a nice word. वो gardening, हमें तो लगता है माली मूव करेगा लॉन, वो gardening थी, but ये वाली भी gardening होती है. It's just to settle your nerves down. It's not to level the pitch. It's already level. The groundsman has done his job. We don't need to level the surface anymore. It's already there. Players have played there before us. Suddenly me landing up on the pitch is not going to level the surface. It's only to calm yourself down, to give yourself those extra few seconds, because the umpire and the bowler is all ready to come hard at you. But how you counter it is not staying in that moment for too long. How you counter it is coming out of that moment quickly and being in the present. So there are people who nowadays, of course, travel with the team. Psychologists travel with the team. There are people who assist you. उन दिनों में वो कुछ इंग्लिश की किताबें थी जो पढ़ते थे. Be in the moment. नहीं समझ आया तो ऑक्सफोर्ड डिक्शनरी खोल लो, कहीं ना कहीं तो समझाई देंगे. Narrow internal concentration. कभी कभी वो, when I sometimes used to go to the class, some good moments used to be there and लिख लेती थी. वो बोला ना रट्टे लगा के जेब में रख लिए, कुछ कुछ काम आ जाता था. वो याद रहना चाहिए but उस moment में. So there are certain times that you have to just remind yourself to be in the present, be in the moment. Leave the first ball outside off stump. Don't hang your bat outside off stump. Or as a bowler, make sure that you get the ball in the right area to make sure that the batter plays. So there are a few moments. To keep yourself calm is the fact that just be in the moment and keep your breathing normal. The moment you don't do either of that, your energies are diverted and you start losing energy very quickly. And the moment you start losing energy quickly, somewhere or the other, whether it's your muscle memory or whether it's any of your thought process will go haywire. So it's about being in the moment. That's why you must have said, first ball single low, non-striker pe chale jao. Best is let the partner play while you're at the non-striker end.
Right. And that's actually the first run really gets your confidence high. I agree with you.
नहीं बच जाते हैं जीरो पे आउट होने से. रन मन कुछ नहीं होते वो सिर्फ जीरो पे आउट होने से बच जाते हैं.
हाँ ये बात भी है.
नहीं तो तुम्हारे नाम के आगे जीरो लगा होता, कोच कहता कल खेलना है, नहीं तो अगला मैच मिलेगा नहीं.
सही बात है. एक रन भी हो तो एटलीस्ट वो रहता है कि आई हैव डन समथिंग. बट या आई एग्री विथ यू. And we have last question for you. Thank you for taking time. Our former chairman, Surinder ji, please, can you ask the question?
Yeah, Anjun, thank you. Thank you very much for narrating your cricketing the journey. My question is, who has been your role model during all these years when you represented India?
See, there have been different role models. As I said, it starts from the family. I've had enough role models in my family. So, the first name as an international player which I heard was obviously of P.T. Usha when I went to the ground. That time Indian team had already won, 1983, they had already won the World Cup. So by the time I landed up at the ground, it was already, cricket was 1987, 88, cricket was on a high. So the names of Mr. Kapil Dev, Mr. Gavaskar, Mr. Bishan Singh Bedi, Mr. Paulie Umrigar, Mr. Sardesai, and so many names. I had actually grown up hearing these names on the dining table, as I said, my maternal uncle, because he's played with so many of these. He's played with so many of these international players that I felt that I've been wicket-keeping behind while they were playing. So there have been different role models at different stages, and I've been very fortunate to having these people around for advice and guidance and at different stages. Be it Mr. Mohinder Ramanath, be it Mr. Bishan Singh Bedi, be it Mr. Sunil Gavaskar, who's of course there in the commentary box nowadays, or Mr. Kapil Dev. There have been, or even present cricketers, whether it has been Sachin or Saurav, Rahul, Dravid, they've been around for advice. So whilst I started, it was about P.T. Usha as a role model. Then came in Kapil Dev because he was a captain of the victorious Indian team. Then, of course, came in Sachin Tendulkar because at such a young age, he started playing for India. And he was just coming through under 15 days where he was already playing for India. And from there on, David Gower, because he was a phenomenal batter. My brother used to copy David Gower, the way he used to stand in his stance, I used to copy my brother. So that's how we became left-handers. It's always been looking at the person who's making a difference. And I am a massive fan of Novak Djokovic because the kind of, not only the success, but the consistency that he's shown, it's phenomenal. I mean, winning a gold at the Olympics recently, coming from a knee injury. So it's always nice to have these people, around who, and to understand how they make sure that they are right on top of the world and making it count.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right, thank you so much. One last question from Naveen ji, our former chairman, and then we're going to end there, right? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have seen that you achieved a lot, really a lot in your life. But most of the questions are about your past.
Yep.
We all are looking for, we have to live in future. So what do you think 5 year down the line, 10 year down the line, 20 year down the line, what do you want to do?
I just want to make a difference, massive difference. And when I say that is the field that I'm in right now as a broadcaster, it's given me a nice platform whereby I always tell even the best of the best cannot get onto the pitch or get close to action. But as a broadcaster, I'm right there in the center when the captains are there, when the players are there. So my profession has given me that window or that opportunity. How I can capitalize from here on is passing it on to the present generation. And I don't even go to the grassroots because I always feel that if you don't, you have to get it from top-down approach rather than bottom-up approach. It has to be parallel, of course, but you start with the top. So sharing it with the present generation. And that's why I said when I'm attached with schools or few colleges, I get to academies, I'm able to impart that information that I have received over the years onto the next generation. Because 2020 is not going to give you stories of how test matches have been played. Or sadly, they will miss out on those beautiful stories that at least I have grown up hearing, that how players used to prepare and the camaraderie and the competition together. So in whichever way, whichever capacity, of course I'm very much attached to the sport, attached to the game. But there are a lot of avenues, and I'm hoping few open up as well, but just making sure that the sport grows. It's not only about Indian men's cricket team winning a World Cup. Hopefully down the line, somewhere in the near future, we can all celebrate an Indian women's cricket team winning a World Cup as well.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anjum. Big round of applause for Anjum Chopra. Thank you, Anjum Chopra, for such an enlightening address. I will request C.A. Sanjay Gagrani, our former chairman Naveen Sharma ji, and Rachit from Policy Bazaar, one of our sponsors, to please join on the stage to present a memento on behalf of all of us as members of ICI Dubai chapter. Give another round of applause. She really put the energy and really brought the heart out when she spoke. Thank you so much. And a warm welcome to Neha Dupia for joining. She's here. She's going to be the next one. Please, Neha, just stay there. After a few minutes, we'll have you on the stage. Thank you for joining. Can I request Council General to please also join? Siddharth, please join for a group photo. And Neha, can you please join on the stage for the group photo? And all the ex-com, please join as well. And Mr. Ali, if you can also join on the stage with us. Our former chairman, can you please join the stage? Hari Bhai, Surinder ji, James sir, please come on the stage very quickly. Nimish Bhai was here, I didn't see him. All right, so let's move to the next session. There is a famous quote that read, "True freedom lies in equality and justice, where every man and woman is empowered to rise and shape a better India." There was a time when only men were in Indian Army, and then women joined in 1992 in the non-combat roles, and then in the combat roles. In 2016, Indian Air Force inducted first female fighter pilot into India. Kalpana Chawla, as we know, became the symbol of women's empowerment and inspiration when she became the first woman of Indian origin to go to space. Chandrayaan 2 and Chandrayaan 3, we know very well how important that was for the lunar exploration. And India's Aadhaar card, which I'm sure we all know, 1.2 billion people covering that itself is internationally known, one of the biggest achievement India has done. And then the UPI latest, if you go to India, I'm sure you must have seen the ease of doing transaction in India. Like UPI is actually money right now. All this achievement came through with an environment of equality, justice, and freedom. We have great role models from India who have set high standards and contributed in India's growth story. We have one such role model among us, Miss Neha Dhupia, who hailed from an army family and reached to the top as Miss India and represented India as in the Miss Universe pageant, and then to become big in big screen Bollywood. She led an extremely impressive journey from crown to camera. Though her name needs no introduction, but I'd like to request our ExCom member, C.A. Dikshit Jain, to please step onto the stage for a formal introduction of Neha Dhupia. Dikshit, onto the stage. Big round of applause for Dikshit Jain.
Bharat Mata ki Jai. Vande Mataram, and good evening to all my fellow members and all my friends here. It is my privilege to introduce our next speaker, Mrs. Neha Dhupia. I think her career has spun a lot. She was born in a family which was from army background. She went on to modeling, from modeling to cinema, and from cinema now to mother of two. And still she's looking so young and beautiful today. I mean, that's an incredible thing what she has done here. Neha is has also won Femina Miss India Award in 2002 and represented India in Miss Universe in 2002 as well. Yeah. So, without taking much time, I would like to call our actress, our guest, and the much awaited name for today, Mrs. Neha Dhupia, to come on the podium and take us through her life journey and motivate us. Thank you so much, Neha Dhupia.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's so wonderful to be here. I think life is all about timing. When I was preparing for my perfect introduction in the wings and hoping that I'll get a huge round of applause, I see a bigger star who walks in, Mr. Vivek Oberoi. Hi, Vivek. So, like I said, things have been great for me, but then sometimes timing is what kind of throws that curveball. So, I was going to talk about my life for 40 minutes, but it's summed up. पर मेरे साथ यही हमेशा होता है, सब कुछ होते होते फिर फिसल जाते हैं साइड से. आज विवेक ने कर दिया है. I know, and that's why. So, I thought I'd made lots of mental notes as to what am I supposed to say, what am I not supposed to say. Firstly, I also want to warn everybody, I've been asked to talk for 40 minutes. Now, let's first, because we have so many people who are so good at mathematics in this crowd, let's just understand, do we have the patience to listen to some woman who's been a part of the movies for over 20 years, standing in front of you in a green sari, thinking that she is not going to bore you for the next 40 minutes? Please be honest. I say give or take. I say give or take. How many minutes can you listen to me talk? Okay, 1 hour. All right, fine. I mean, that's 10x more than my husband has said, but it's fine. I also want to ask you, I'm supposed to be the keynote speaker, but it's fine. I also want to ask you, how many minutes can you listen to me talk without picking up your mobile phones? 2.5 minutes? Did you say 2.5 minutes? I'm just going to prepone my flight back, then it's fine. But having said that, ये mic लेके अभी आया हो गया आधा बात तो खत्म हो गई सर. नहीं मैं रिलैक्स हूँ, आप चिंता मत करिए. ये है हमारे प्रिय मित्र दीक्षित जी. दीक्षित जी ने को मैंने बोला था कि मेरी इंट्रोडक्शन बिल्कुल छोटी सी रखना क्योंकि ज़्यादा कुछ है नहीं मेरे बारे में बोलने के लिए. एंड ही वाज जस्ट लाइक नहीं हमको रोज़ रोज़ मौका नहीं मिलता स्टेज पे जाने का. आई थॉट
बात में दम है.
So Dikshit ji has told me, sir, दीक्षित जी ने कहा वैसे तो चेयरमैन साहब ही जाते हैं स्टेज पे, आज मैं चढ़ा हूँ तो मुझे लंबी इंट्रोडक्शन तो देने दो. पर दीक्षित जी के साथ भी वही हुआ जो मेरे साथ हो रहा था. वो जैसे बात करे स्टेज पे चढ़े, विवेक ओबरॉय जी आ गए और फिर उनके साथ भी वही हुआ. बट आई फील दीक्षित इट्स बिटवीन यू एंड मी, इट्स अबाउट टाइमिंग, राइट? सो या, do you want to get started or should I just generally talk about how we're all doing? Let's just get to know all of you better. मेरी तो बातें होती रहेंगी. There's some questions that people are going to ask me. I know that eventually, even if none of you are interested in asking me questions, don't worry, we've planted enough people in the audience. So, कोई बात नहीं, यहाँ पे भी 3-4 हैं, बहुत क्रिस्प कुर्ते पजामे में 2 बार स्टीम आयन करके आए अपने कुर्ते क्योंकि वो स्टेज पे आने वाले हैं. But having said that, what a wonderful room this is, guys. Give yourselves a huge round of applause. Yeah, I love that. We're not looking at numbers, we're not calculating someone else's wealth, we're not worrying about other people, and we're not finding ways to make less money because I know that all of you are very rich. Is that right? Yes. Because rich is not about having money in the bank. It's about दिल में प्यार किसके पास है. सर आपने अपना हाथ खड़ा किया बहुत ही एक्साइटमेंट के साथ. सर I like that, I like that. But I have to say it's so wonderful to be here. दीक्षित जी किधर गए? आपको मैं बुलाने वाली हूँ स्टेज पे, आप चिंता मत करिए. All right, so you know I got an invitation. No, very seriously now, if you want to laugh at my life, you can. But I got an invitation, I got a call saying you have to come here, talk on stage about your life. And the topic was very interesting, from crown to camera. And I was like, this is great. But how about we start from the beginning? From like before the crown, like how does one get there? I think from crown to camera could be easy, but it's like, you know, it's always the initial years that make it hard, make you think कि करना क्या है life में. So let me tell you a little bit about myself, which is not on Wikipedia. This part is that I hail from a Fauji home, and it's really wonderful to be here celebrating Independence Day because I'm a true patriot, like most of you here. Why I say most of you is because I don't want to put any of you in that situation where I know that all of us are true Indians, but I'm a true patriot at heart. Like whether when it's cinema, watching each and every film that comes on cinema, or whether it's talking about the country, or whether it's representing the country, I wear the badge of India with honor, and I'm sure all of you do. And that's something that I was taught growing up, and that's something that I saw my father do, and it's, I think it kind of comes easy when you see everyone around you do that, and I feel every day, even when I heard Anjum talk, I know she's not here right now, there you are Anjum. I thought you lied to me saying मैं सुनूंगी तुम्हारी बातें और तुम खिसक गई side से, but नहीं हम इधर ही हो, which is nice. Yeah. बिल्कुल नहीं, स्पोर्ट्स वालों से तो मुझे ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा ही प्यार है. Yeah. Sir, that is also correct. पर अगर मेरा पति क्रिकेट अगर उसने नहीं खेला होता थोड़ा बहुत क्रिकेट तो फिर भी मैं शादी कर ही लेती. मैं बताना मत, किसी का फोन तो नहीं ऑन ना यहाँ पे? इनका फोन ले, अच्छा नहीं, इनके फोन से तो मेरा NEFT होने वाला है, इनका फोन मत लेना. Just joking, I don't even know who this person is, guys. What was I talking about? So this is what happens when you have 2 children who are really young. After every 5 minutes, how many of you have young kids between, like, let's say under 8? All right. So when you have children who are really young, you forget. It's called the mommy brain. So कई बार ऐसे होगा आज कि मैं बात करना शुरू करूँगी and I will forget what I'm talking about. So will somebody remind me? Who can be like my reminder? Dikshit? Where's Dikshit? pick it up from where I left it. What was I talking about before this?
Mommy brain.
Huh?
Mommy brain.
No,
Your
no.
brain which may
उसके
forget.
पहले, उसके पहले.
उसके पहले you are too patriotic or something like that.
दीक्षित ही नहीं सुन रहा था, cancel. दीक्षित की नौकरी गई.
नहीं, one thing I remember you said कि ये phone ले लो, इससे any of you होने वाला है.
दीक्षित को अभी दीक्षित के लिए कोई कॉफी ला सकता है तो ले आइए. But listen, but seriously, honestly, having said that, before this I was talking about, Anjum. Before Anjum, what was I talking about? The crown. So, guys, I love it. This was just my test, whether all of you were listening to me or not. This is not the kind of, I'm not going to let you slip up. Huh? Either I want all of you or none of you. मुझे तो प्यार है आप सबसे, तो मुझे भी मतलब एक तरफा प्यार नहीं चाहिए. I want 100%. Are you willing to give me 100% for the? And now, going back, now that I have your 100% attention, now that exercise is parked aside, I think going back and then speaking of my upbringing, and then it was also about what one is going to do in your life, and then बहुत लोगों को ना ये लगता है कि चलो ठीक है, लंबे हैं, 5 feet 7 inches से लंबे हैं, बाल अच्छे हैं, skin अच्छा है, जो भी है, if you're, in that classified box of having good looks, तो ठीक है, मॉडल बन जाएंगे, मॉडल बनने के बाद फिर आगे देखते हैं, आगे जाके क्या होगा. But I want to tell you that I think when I was 18 or like between 18 and 19, I was like, okay, fine, let me become a model and let me see what it's like. And I promise you, पहली बार मैंने भी यही सोचा था कि कर लेंगे, आसान है, और कुछ नहीं तो मॉडलिंग ही कर लेंगे. It's not modeling ही. It's a lot more than that. After 18 years of your life, you have somebody telling you how to walk. Or after 18 years of your life, when you've been with your parents, somebody's telling you, bread mat khao, tumhare liye achhi nahi hai. Or after that much time, somebody's judging you on the way you look or the way you carry yourself. And it's that expectation versus reality आप लोगों ने देखी है, जो एक कई लोग मीम बनाते हैं, कई लोग इंस्टाग्राम पे वो रील्स डालते हैं जो असलियत है और नहीं. It's a hard job. Like I'm so glad that today in the audience I have Vivek who's sitting here and who understands that facing the camera or being on stage or carrying the weight of any creative job or even like having your attention or humoring people or engaging people or even getting invited to this place over here in this auditorium by all of you, I feel it's a lot of work. It's not just me standing. It's me spending 2 decades trying to tell everybody that this is my voice, this is what I stand for, this is who I represent, and these are the people I want to talk to. All of it, the sum total of it is what brings me here. It's not just कि हाँ modeling कर ली, एक actor को बुलाना है तो बुला लेते हैं. So when people turn around, I'm digressing, I may be talking about something else entirely. So when people turn around and ask me a simple question like, what's it like to be trolled on social media? I promise you, it doesn't feel like anything because when you're on a film set, 15 times you'll have one person tell you, ऐसे नहीं रोते हैं, or 20 times, and for your own benefit, 20 times you'll have somebody else saying, line याद कर लो. 4 times you'll have somebody tell you, this dress is nice, but you don't look good because you have to lose 2 more kgs, or something or the other. So the fact that we live off feedback and we wait for your feedback, and the fact that we live off the love that we get from all of you doesn't happen overnight. It takes a long time. And in my case, I feel like it's taken more than 25 years and I'm still craving for it every day. So thank you for filling up this room, being here and giving me your attention firstly. And that's how I'd like to start. I think back then, even modeling or back then saying Miss India ke liye jana hai, all these things, हमेशा ये लगता था कि okay, but that's not a real job. It's not a real profession. आजकल सब लोग बहुत तैयारी करके आते हैं. आजकल Instagram पे देखते हैं, अगर हमारे बच्चे स्टेज पे थोड़े से भी confident हो जाए तो like ये actor ही बनेगा, because people are prepared. But back then there was no social media. Back then there was no outlet. There was no way to learn except be there in the foreground, learn every day, learn from your failure, learn from the success of other people, understand, pick up a newspaper clipping, call those phone numbers, and I don't know, but I'm the Yellow Pages era. I don't know how many of you ever picked up a phone directory to ever find a number. Did any of you do that? Vivek didn't. He's too young, guys. But you know, it's real. The hustle is real. It doesn't come easy. The survival is even harder. I feel having a voice at a time where everyone has a voice, so having a voice when a lot of voices were muted back then. Aajkal to being real, being honest, being a little goofy, थोड़ा बहुत you know cute सा video डाल दिया जहाँ खाना यहाँ side पे लगा हुआ है ना, ये सब चीजें viral हो जाती हैं. Back then, in 2000, 2001, everything had to be perfect. Pick up a picture of, or a photograph of a mainstream actor, actress doing goofy things. It used to not happen because we were all striving for perfection. So I'm just saying that the span from perfection to imperfection and seeking perfection in your imperfections is something that I've seen over the span of time that I've spent in the business. And it's really interesting. But I also want all of you to take a moment and look inside and understand that these are the same lives all of you have led. I think now, from this point on, it's really important to draw parallels from each other. It's very important to understand that if 50% of your life you've been a failure, this is how far you'll get. So that's how far I've gone. But then you also work on the 50% of success, and you also work on the 100% of experience that you have in your life that takes you much further. Take a moment to think about that mathematics, because I can't do more than 50 and 100%, and see how easy and how far it'll get you. How many of you have seen failure in your life? There are a lot of you who are out there who haven't raised their hands, so I think it's fantastic for the ones who haven't. For the rest of us, how many of you have turned it around?
CA complete karna itself is a journey to do it. So people who have done the CA, they have all gone through the journey of failure and success.
That is so great. You know, this is what makes us real. This is what makes it amazing. This is what makes this room so much more fun to understand. Because at this point, I'm going to lose all my inhibitions and say, okay, I'm going to be 100% honest, because I feel like you're like me and I'm like you. I have a lot to say, but I'm going to let Dikshit ask me a question and I will answer it. Dikshit, don't take me seriously. Sit down.
No. I'm just, I can't think about anything
else.
Yeah,
but seriously, I've done enough of talk time. I don't think I want to have a one-way communication. Please take that mic from each other. Please ask me questions, and please start. Yes, I'd like you to start, sir.
All right, Neha, thank you first of all for ensuring everybody is listening. I think that was the biggest one. And the people whose hands are down, if you ask again, they will stay it up, because you have kept everybody alive. And the failure and the successes we chartered accountants have lived since we started doing it until today. We are fighting and we are the fighters. Chartered accountants always are the fighters. On the freedom, on the Independence Day, you can see all of us are here from different places in India, but we are together. We always fight it out.
Absolutely. I really think, you all celebrate your independence twice a year, once in August and once in April, after all the papers are filed. So this is the second time around in the year.
I think you have a great sense of humor, I must say. All right, on Independence Day, I have one question from you. You come from army background, we heard that. And from you have seen the patriotic emotions in your family. So on this day, and whenever the Independence Day, how do you feel? Means how you, your family feel about the Independence Day? Just share some.
I think it's really wonderful, because I also feel that it's not just me, because I hail from an army background. I feel that this sabke gharon mein hota hai. To wake up in the morning, find your spot where you can get together, hoist that flag, look up, and then, you know, there's sometimes a silent and sometimes a very loud Jai Hind that comes out of you. And then you feel that, okay, you know, you really feel this sense of spirit and the sense of truly being Indian. And that's how we also used to celebrate it. And more importantly, I feel it also starts from I'll give you a little anecdote. We kind of reminisce a lot of times around the 26th of July when Kargil Divas is usually celebrated. I had a lot of people who I knew and was acquainted with who have come forth and served the nation in uniform at the borders. And I think the time starts from there, and then it trickles down. And day after day, week after week, whether it was the Kargil Divas, whether it's the time that we spend watching the Olympics, whether it's watching cricket before that, whether it's watching any other sport, whether it's rooting for, a beauty queen who's representing our country, anything, any sort of news at the national, at the global level, you almost go out and you want to say, even if it's cinema, it's such a huge cultural exchange to the rest of the world. And I feel you feel so patriotic because, sometimes you're walking down the streets and someone's like, what do you do? And you're like, I'm a part of the Indian film industry, and somebody's doing a little Shah Rukh move. You still feel so proud that, hey, you're Indian, you represent a culture, a country, and everybody knows what that stands for. Or even someone saying, we love, I know they say it in a very accented way, but even that makes me feel proud that we love India, Indian food, and chicken tikka masala. And they say that a lot wherever I travel. And I want to actually tell them that there's so much more to Indian food than that. But every part of it makes me feel like, hey, this is great. And I promise you the time that I feel most proud, and this could be a small anecdote or a sound on my head, and it says, now when you're at the airport and it says, now boarding Mumbai, I feel like I'm going home. I'm going back to my own country.
Sanjay.
Neha ji, I would like to touch base about your glamorous journey. After winning the Femina Miss India, then you have represented India on a global stage. So how was this transformation journey, and what are the challenges you faced, and how did you overcome on that?
It's amazing how everyone who's a part of the chartered accountant world has the same tone of speaking.
We get trained for that, huh?
Actually, I just want to tell you, कि आपके जो taxes है आपने file किए वो 3 days late हुआ तो फिर वो about. So.
We are maintaining that.
Am I right or am I right?
You are.
I have once been, so I'll come to you. I will have to ask you to repeat the question because I think I understood it, but then I don't have my mom on the call because on all chartered accountant calls I have my mom, and then I'm WhatsApping her from the side saying, "Kya bola sir ne?" So she's not here today. She is not on the call, but she is in Delhi.
Let me rephrase
but
the
please
question.
repeat your question, sir. It's my fault I don't understand. Yeah.
Okay, let me repeat the questions once again for
Yeah.
you. After winning the Femina Miss India, then you represented India on a global stage. So there would be some transformation journey because a lot of responsibility comes in, right? So how the transformation journeys was there, and how did you overcome those challenges and the expectation from the crowds or Indian population that were there? That's the question.
It's a really lovely question, sir. Thank you. But I'd like to say that, you strive towards winning, like in life for everything else, and you strive like, hey, I want to make sure that I do well, and you work everything out so that you kind of go ahead and sit right on top on that position, and then you're like, now what? Because post that, I saw success winning Miss India, and then I went for Miss Universe, where I ranked in the top 10, but I did not win. So in January, I felt like, hey, the world's my oyster. And in June, I felt like it all came crumbling down. So I feel like the tough part about being on top, and as much as I'm going to state a cliche, is staying on top, and that's what kind of makes it hard. So I feel, to answer your question, the most important part of it was definitely winning. The best part was representing our country, and I feel
तालियां रोके नहीं जब आए तो प्लीज बजा दीजिए.
And thank you. But I feel that, like Anjum also said, I feel like it's about representing your nation. You wear that badge, you sashay down on that stage, and they scream, contestant number, whatever my number was, I can't really remember. It says India, and then you list to the top 10. But I think that that moment lasted a short span because soon after that I was just like, hey, you don't make it. And for the ones who don't hit gold, have to go home. And when you go home, you have to start figuring your life out again. And for me, it happens a lot of times that I kind of try and keep plan B ready because I've seen myself surviving on plan B. Initially, I didn't understand and I would always fight plan B. But now what I do is I have a plan B, so the minute plan A doesn't work, which is 90% of the time, I know I already have another plan going on for me. So, you know, think about it, like, you know, 90% of the time, you almost feel that, hey, this is not going to work out, so what are you going to do next? A lot of times you don't prepare for what's next. And I know that a lot of people may not agree with me that why keep plan B ready, only work on plan A. How many plan A people do we have here? So you are picking up your hand a lot, huh? I'm seeing how much love he has in his heart, this, that. Sir, please introduce yourself. वहीं से बोल दीजिए. Very nice to meet you, Mr. Srivastav. Srinivasan ji.
Srinivasan Murthy, yeah.
Mr. Srinivasan ji, very nice to meet you. It's amazing. What I love about him is no matter what the question is, he's listening carefully. That's why his hand goes up a lot. So yeah, welcome. And no, guys, not a joke. Not a joke. No laughing. No, I'm serious because he's paying attention. And so are most of you. Most of you. Kaiyon ke phone nikal aaye hain, but it's fine. I'm 20 minutes in. I promise you I'll be leaving soon. But, you know, once again, to answer the second part of your question, and I've seen so much, you know, whether it's life, whether it's everything else I planned for it, whether it's my career, so much change within minutes that I'm just okay with it. And I know that if this doesn't work out, instead of sitting over there, reassessing, rerouting, recalculating what I'm supposed to do, I'm just like, hey, I'll just go to the next plan. Because that's the person I have become now. But back then, I wasn't. I was sitting and I had a tub of ice cream in front of me. I had a transit flight via London. I refused to go home. I stopped in London, stayed there for 3 months, refused to work out, eat a lot of sugar, and I sat there thinking my world has come to an end. But you can't take that very seriously because I was also 21 years old. So please forgive me. But yeah, I think this is the first time I'm ever sharing this secret about me. So now you guys know something that nobody knows. And also the ice cream was delicious. Dikshit.
I have one question, you know,
Yes.
just came in my mind. Being a celebrity is not easy. Being a celebrity is not easy, especially in India. You have a lot of fans who want to meet you somehow. They want to talk to you. Do you have any memory or a weirdest thing a fan would have done for you while they met you or while they were, coming to meet you sometime like that? So anything in your mind, or could you share something with us on that part?
I mean, clearly they're not sticking to script. I gave them a whole different set of questions. They are asking me completely different questions. It's hilarious. I have none of this prepared. But it's fine. It feels like a quiz competition. But yeah. I think one which was really funny and it stayed in my head was at 5 a.m. I was boarding a flight from Delhi somewhere. I hadn't slept and I was connecting from, I think, some road trip via Chandigarh. Kahin se to main aa rahi thi, mujhe yaad nahi hai. And somebody looked at me that, excuse me, aap Neha Dhupiya hain? And I didn't feel like giving a photograph, so I just said, nahi, main nahi hu, wo meri behan hai. So it doesn't end there, guys. It doesn't end there. So he's like, हाँ ठीक है वैसे भी आप लगते नहीं है नेहा no it doesn't end there it doesn't end there because he looks at me and he's like आप तो फिर भी slim and trim है वो ज़्यादा chubby हैं and I looked at him and I was just like oh my god you really look like the poster boy of a gymnasium because you've never been to one and you are the before of the poster boy of the gymnasium. But I didn't say anything. So that is the kind of stuff that does happen. And Dikshit, be kind when somebody says, nahi, main unki behan hu, or something like that. But yeah, I've had some strange experiences. Like, I don't know, like I was sleeping on a flight once. I woke up and somebody was just recording me sleep. And then it's like, hello boliye, camera on hai. And I'm like, kitni der se? They're like, shuru se. And I'm like, par ye flight to 3.5 ghante ki hai. What do you mean shuru se? So I'm telling you, like strange things have happened. Stranger things will happen. Does it affect me? I don't know. I mean, we should actually root this question back to Vivek. Vivek, what is the strangest thing that's happened to you? He doesn't want to talk right now. He's like, I haven't been asked to talk, and yeah, let me throw you in the deep end.
Okay, firstly, let me acknowledge that you're listening to one of those people from the Indian film industry that I love listening to most.
Oh.
Right? When she was asking कि आप मुझे
दिन बन गया.
40 minute झेल पाएंगे, I know that I'm sure all of us feel the same, but we can keep listening to Neha. She can keep talking for hours and we can keep listening to her. She's so entertaining and so much fun.
I completely agree with you, Vivek.
And coming from Bollywood, where a lot of people feel, अरे यार Bollywood वाले नकली होते हैं, हाँ कुछ होते भी हैं. मुखौटे ज़्यादा होते हैं, they're not real, etc. etc. Not Neha and me, of course.
Not at all.
But about Neha, I want to say, you know, that वो बच्चन साहब का डायलॉग नहीं था अग्निपथ का कि टेलीफोन बहुत डेंजरस चीज़ है, आदमी सोचता कुछ और है, बोलता कुछ और है, करता कुछ और है. Neha Dhopia is one kind of person where नेहा जो सोचती है वही बोलती है और जो वो बोलती है वो करके दिखाती है. Talking about strange anecdotes, maybe 20 years ago is the first time I met this wonderful lady. And that impression 20 years ago still stays in my mind. We were both at a late friend, Parmeshwar Godrej's party. And I won't take the name, but it was a very popular man from the advertising industry, suave, Delhi-based. You see him a lot of television debates. लोगों की class लेते रहता है. He's quite a bully in his own way. Intelligent, witty bully, but bully. अब वो नेहा की class लेना शुरू कर गया. At that moment, I was feeling awkward also. I was thinking, as a gentleman, should I step in? I had just met Neha. So I didn't know whether I should step in to say, guys, stop it yaar. Itna kisi ki tang khichai mat karo. She's also here as a guest at the party. Oh, करे जा रहा है, खींचे जा रहा है. Then, Miss Dhupia has started. And दिखा दिया कि वो फौज की हैं. मशीन गन जो निकला है, वो आदमी बेचारा अपना दुम दबा के उल्टे पांव वापस निकल गया. And I have never seen that happen in 20 years to him, except for Neha Dhupia.
I mean, firstly, I can't believe you remember this story. Secondly, I also think that this is one of my most embarrassing stories, which also all of you know. But Vivek has turned it out and made it high praise. But that's the person Vivek is also. So yeah, thank you, Vivek. Thank you so much for those kind words.
Thank you so much. Amit, can you ask the next
Hi,
question?
Hi.
Good evening once again, and thank you so much for keeping the audience and this conversation so alive, funny, and engaging. My question is to you, just little fantasy questions like, if you could have one superpower, what...
Did he say fantasy?
फंस गया.
Is a room full of chartered accountants allowed to have a fantasy? I rest my case.
So,
I have my ring ready for you, sir.
I'm already married, so I'm so sorry for that.
It's...
Yeah, so my question is like, if you could have one superpower, but only you can use in your Bollywood career, what it could be? Maybe like memorize your script and dialogues in one shot, or what it could be?
Every time a film of mine releases, make sure it's house full. That's the superpower I want.
Wonderful.
Everybody wants that superpower in Bollywood. But yeah, I think as a mom, the superpower I want is that I want to have like a remote. So, you know, it should be connected to my watch. And as soon as I'm running late, pause it so the time everywhere stands still. And then release it every time. You think I can have that? That's my fantasy. It's very clean. It's very pure. So I don't know about you.
No, that's wonderful. And I wish I could have met with you 8 years before. So the ring you have offered me 8 years before, then it could be.
Oh, I love it. But you know, you can have my ring. It's totally okay.
No, it's okay, but it's not okay for me now.
So I promise you, I will give you the number of the jeweler. It's on returnable basis. वो आके ले लेंगे आपसे.
But if I'll take this, then I have to pay the heavy price at my home.
Right.
His fantasy, I feel this is the real fantasy question. He wants to somewhere pay that heavy price, even if it means he's talking about, I love it, sir, I love it. That's fine.
So much,
Please, yeah, feel the stretch with me. It's totally okay. I mean, I like being bullied. It's totally okay. You can take my ring. It's fine. It's fine. It's full of fake diamonds.
But let me tell you, this opportunity is gone. There are a lot of people sitting there must be ready to grab your ring as well.
Anybody in the back wants to ask me an unscripted question, please? Oh, I see a hand come up right now, yeah.
But सब लोग spouses के साथ हैं इसलिए हाथ नहीं उठ रहे
अरे sir, ये कैसी बातें कर रहे हैं? Spouses के साथ ही तो I want the spouse only to talk. I want the less chatty spouse to ask me a question because I'm the less chatty spouse in my marriage.
All right, we can take only
Vivek
2
is buying
questions.
that story.
So
Thank you.
So is Anjum.
Neha, this is a hilarious evening.
Whoa, sir, easy there.
So let me ask a question.
Yes.
You've been married to Mr. Bishan Singh Bedi's family, and he was a legend. Anjum is here. How was, or I would say, what was one or many life lessons which you would like to share with us, which you got from him while you were in his household?
Oof, I mean, I'm always going to be his daughter and daughter-in-law, but I feel like the biggest life lesson that I've learned from him is the fact that he's lived his entire life with integrity. He's lived his entire life with just giving and doing for people. And I feel like he's one of those people who's done one thing in his life and done it to perfection, which is unmatched. And I wish I can even be 1% of the person he is or he was, and it'll be like, my dream come true. But I see a lot of that. I see a lot of integrity. I see a lot of bravery. Maybe not the same spin bowling skill set, but I see a lot of all the other values in his son. And I'm so glad that, I get to call Angad my husband. It's odd because we're such good friends. I never thought about it, but it's only been 7 years. But it's so great to be kind of married into that house. I'm trying very hard to measure my words because I mean, somewhere my mother-in-law may see a clipping of this and I'm scared. But no, just kidding. But having said that, thank you for that question. It really makes me think. And just to see the honor code around my father-in-law used to be amazing, to have the best of cricketers, to have the best of athletes, people from the sporting world don't necessarily have to be people on the field, but off the field from different parts of the world who I've met, who I've been acquainted with, who would come and tell me stories. Just this morning, like I was talking to Anjum, we met over a coffee and she was talking about dad and so fondly. And every time you meet someone who would know him, or they would have so many great anecdotes, and each one was one about kind of a life lesson that they've learned from him. So that was just great, and I'm so glad that, I got to spend the amount of time that I did. Wasn't too long, I wish he was still around, but having said that, I mean, his teachings are always going to be there, always.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Neha. We have the last question of the evening for you.
Hello, Neha. It's wonderful over here.
We are.
You asked one, yes, you asked one question in the start, that how much time, one person can listen to you. Maybe not in this life, but maybe in the next life. If you are married, I will listen to you for the whole life.
What do I do with this man now?
मैंने कहा था ना, there are some people who are waiting for the opportunity.
I don't even know if he was mustering courage to say this or he just said it. Was it heartfelt or did you think about it for 20 minutes? Answer my question, I really want to know. Did you like, अभी नेहा स्टेज पे आई, अभी मैं सोचूंगा, मैं सोचूंगा, चलो बोल ही देते और माइक दो, मैं बोल देता हूँ. I just want to know the person you are. Mic दो, oh sir, your courage, your bravery, your strength. And, I mean, and your plan B is fantastic. It's amazing. So please introduce yourself so I know that if I ever come to Dubai, I have a SOS number to call. Vivek is not happy. Vivek is like, oh, ये ठीक नहीं हो रहा है. इन दोनों की शादी हो चुकी है, ये ठीक नहीं हो रहा है. I'm on the 9:55 flight back, Vivek. Don't worry.
Hello.
I'm going back to your friend.
Yeah, one from women empowerment point of view. We have the women who wants to speak with you.
I want to speak to every woman in this
hello.
room.
Last question.
Yeah, I had a last question. I think the
Looking
time is
beautiful.
getting... Yeah,
I
thank
love
you.
that color.
Thank you. Actually, I want to know the secret of your spontaneity and what is your daily routine, actually.
Oof, my daily routine. Which one should I tell you first?
And the secret of your spontaneity, you know?
So my daily routine is I wake up in the morning, and even at 6:30 in the morning, I'm late. So I'm like, now what do I do? So I have, say, 2.5 minutes to have my tea, 4 minutes to get ready, drop my kids to school, come back. Also, 30 seconds to look at my husband looking very peaceful, sleeping still. Then go to the gym, come back, another 4 seconds to look at my husband, still looking very peaceful, sleeping. I'm joking, he does everything.
Now I know the secret.
No, I'm telling you guys, let's take a moment. I mean, jokes aside, I was doing all this, and it's very easy to make the scapegoat of a person who's not there in the room and say, crack the jokes on that person. But let's take a moment. And speaking of women empowerment, I feel so empowered to be married to the man I am. We have 2 children. I'm here in another country. I'm talking to all of you. I'm living my dream. I'm on stage. I'm wearing a color that I want to be in. I went shopping in the morning. I went and hit the gym in the morning. And I feel that this is freedom, and that freedom comes when you choose the right partner.
Thank you so much. A big round of applause. I think already ho gaya, but
This guy just walked in. They're like, okay, Vivek is getting late. Fatafat entry maar do because ye bahut baatein kar rahi hai. I will do my closing note on my own. It's fine. Acha, Dikshit is here. He wants to do it, guys. Let's give it to him.
ये दूसरा है.
Guys, having said that, it's so wonderful to be here talking to you. I wish Vivek hadn't walked in. We would have had more time, but I know he needs to go for another meeting. Maybe he's just making it up and he just has to go play paddle for all you know. But having said all of this, you guys are amazing. You guys really, I mean, the number of numbers that you deal with on an annual basis, I don't think I will see for the rest of my life. I'm very proud of you. I'm very scared of mathematics. Having said that, I love you all. My heart goes out. You're a great room. I've never had more fun in Dubai. This is my sign off. Goodbye. Take care. Over to Dikshit.
Thank you so much. That's the power of Neha Dubia. Yay! All right, all good things come to end at some point, but we're gonna keep following you and keep looking at the great things you are doing in life. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the motivational address, and you have shared some great stories with us. I'd like to request Dikshit, who is here with me, and Abbas Ali Mirza Saab, please can you join on the stage? And also Vivek, if you don't mind, can you also join on the stage to present a memento? Ankur Bhai, please you can also come if you want. To present a memento on behalf of all of us as members. And we want to see Vivek more and more, of course, guys, right? Cheer him up, yay! Anjum, can you also please join? Thank you. Sudha, you want to join with us as well? Please join on the stage. All right. The event can really turn magical when we have special guests in the room, and what can we have better than the dashing and popular Bollywood star Vivek Oberoi with us, which you have seen. Give him a big round of applause. He's here with us on the stage. So I purposefully got him earlier so we can really talk to him in a few minutes. And who is also, by the way, the co-sponsor, co-owner of our title sponsor, Bricks and Wood Real Estate. When the glamour is in the house, the event already reached the cloud number 9. And before I welcome him, he's already on the stage, by the way, I'd like to request our stunning member, C. Amit Khetan, please join on the stage for a formal, quick introduction for Vivek Oberoi. Give him a big round of applause for Amit Khetan. Sir, they are also stars. You're our XCOM stars. Give him a big one.
Good evening, ICI family. Thank you so much, Rishi bhai, but when you said make a quick introduction of a big star, so I think that's not possible. And before I introduce our special guest, Mr. Vivek Oberoi, I want to express my love for the nation in the few lines, getting the inspirations from the CA Jaiprakash Agrawal, our Vice Chairman. He's not here due to certain situation and is in India right now. So I wrote few lines on the occasion of Independence Day. And these lines are, on this day, our flag flies high, with dreams of freedom in the sky. Let's remember those who paved the way for India we cherish today. United, we stand strong and free. In our diversity, we find unity. Let's work together hand in hand to build a future bright and grand. Happy Independence Day to every heart that beats for the land. Let's make India proud and forever it stand. Let's make India proud and forever stand. Happy Independence Day, India, and to all the ICI Dubai chapter members. Moving on, as we gather today to celebrate the spirit of freedom and the legacy of our great nation, we are honored to have with us someone who embodies versatility, passion, a commitment to making a difference in the world, both on and off the screen. Today, we have among us incredibly talented and multifaceted actor, philanthropist, and entrepreneur, Mr. Vivek Oberoi. Vivek's journey in the Bollywood began with a bang company where he not only won our hearts, but he also Filmfare Award for the best debut. But Vivek is much more than just a brilliant actor. Did you know that he is also a passionate advocate for various social causes? Through his work with organizations like Devi, development and empowerment of women initiatives, and his efforts in supporting underprivileged children, he is making a real impact in the lives of many. And here is something not everyone knows. Vivek has a deep love for the poetry and often finds solace in writing his own verses, which reflect in his thoughts and emotions in a beautiful artistic way. He is also an accomplished entrepreneur, having ventured into sustainable real estate with the aim of creating eco-friendly communities with our title sponsor, Bricks and Woods. Today, we are thrilled to have him with us, not just as a star of the silver screen, but as a true role model who continues to inspire us with his dedication to both his craft and betterment of society. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's put your hands together for one and only Vivek Oberoi.
भारत माता की वंदे वंदे वंदे. Bye, Neha. I don't feel like speaking, Neha. I feel like listening to you. Come back on stage. Bye, Anjum. So it's wonderful to be here as always. I think ICI has become वो कहते हैं ना कि जब शादी होती है तो ससुराल हो जाता है या मायके वाले हो जाते हैं. So because of my brother Ankur Agarwal, who's also a CA and a part of ICAI, the rockstar CA, I feel like I'm also connected to ICAI. तो मुझे लग रहा है कि अब मुझे भी अपने नाम के आगे CA लगा देना चाहिए. क्या लग रहा है? हाँ? लगा देना चाहिए? नहीं लगाना चाहिए? बट CA का मतलब अलग हो सकता है ना, सिनेमा एक्टर. मैं भी CA हूँ. It's wonderful to be here. It's wonderful to connect with all of you incredible people. I feel कि, you know, today is Independence Day. I mean, we're celebrating Independence Day today. भारत को तो 47 में आज़ादी मिल गई, except for all the married men here. सबको आज़ादी मिल गई. But jokes apart, if we talk about financial independence, what is financial independence to you? To be able to be secure, comfortable, provide for yourself, provide for your family, achieve your goals, achieve your ambitions, have a good life. खुद कुछ कमाएं और खुद समाज के लिए भी कुछ करें. Right? This is financial independence. I think every entrepreneur has that dream to achieve financial independence. But to achieve this dream, if a business is a vehicle and you are the driver, then I believe the CA in your life is the GPS system. क्योंकि you cannot achieve your destination without the GPS system. वही आपको बताएगा कौन सा रास्ता बेस्ट है, कौन सा रास्ता शॉर्टेस्ट है, कौन से रास्ते पे एक्सीडेंट नहीं है, प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, रुकावट नहीं है. I think that is what a CA means to every single businessman in the world. आदमी, sorry ladies, especially all the spouses that are here, आदमी अपनी बीवी से झगड़ा कर सकता है लेकिन अपने CA से झगड़ा नहीं कर सकता. बीवी की बात भले ही ना माने, CA की बात माननी पड़ेगी. I feel that CAs have a huge impact in our lives. They become like friends, guides. जैसे पुराने ज़माने में हर इंसान का एक गुरु होता था, धर्म गुरु होता था, हर परिवार का एक गुरु होता था, हर राज्य में राजाओं का राजगुरु होता था. So I think CAs in today's modern life for all businessmen are the earth guru, economic gurus that advise you, whether it's an investment decision or whether it's your principal business, whether you are aiming too high, what Neha was talking about, plan B. These are the things that we depend on our CAs for. And it's an incredibly trust-based position. You have to really trust your CA. And it takes a lot to earn that trust. I think the one thing people don't talk about, people look at CAs as very statistical. Mathematics की बात करते हैं, accounting की बात करते हैं. लेकिन मैंने जो CAs के बारे में observe किया है, CA का एग्जाम पास करने के लिए जो डिसिप्लिन चाहिए, जो मेहनत चाहिए, जो कड़ी लगन चाहिए, जो डेडिकेशन चाहिए, वो बहुत कम लोगों में है. और उस संयम से एक बहुत कम उम्र में all CAs become much more mature, संजीदा हो जाते हैं. They achieve maturity, मतलब हम कोई और कोर्स कर रहे होंगे, हम सेम उम्र के होंगे, लेकिन आप देखोगे कि CA जिसने किया है ना, वो ज़्यादा मैच्योर नज़र आएगा आपके लिए, ऑलवेज इन लाइफ. और इसीलिए कम उम्र के CA से भी लोग एडवाइस लेते हैं, ट्रस्ट करते हैं. सो आई फील द ह्यूमन एलिमेंट ऑफ CAs, नॉट स्टेटिस्टिकल, not mathematical, but the human element of CAs and what they are as people to our society is a huge contribution, because it takes many, many years to become the kind of person that can earn the trust of not one, not two, but hundreds, maybe thousands of clients. कितने client हैं आप लोगों के and they all trust you. They all go by your word. आपने ज़बान दे दी, आपने कह दिया कि ये चीज़ सही है, तो वो विश्वास कर लेते हैं. उस विश्वास को कमाना requires a very, very special kind of person. इसलिए CAs की normally divorce नहीं होती और झगड़ा भी नहीं होता है घर में. सही कह रहा हूँ कि गलत कह रहा हूँ? कुछ लोग पीछे से कह रहे हैं गलत है. So it's always great to associate with such people. It's a great quality of people that we put together. And in B&W, as you saw outside Aqua Arc, our project has become a big success story by the grace of God. God has been very, very kind to us. We've had a very interesting experience. Because of my brother Ankur being a CA and having such a good relationship in the CA network, we've had a lot of wonderful CAs from across India, across the UAE, associating with us, coming on and joining, partnering with us. And that partnership has become so beautiful, so successful, it has blossomed. It has made the CAs strategic partners with us also, but at the same time, it has made them become like quasi-entrepreneurs also. It has created good for all, सबका भला. हमारी कंपनी के लिए भी अच्छा, सीए के लिए भी अच्छा, सीए के क्लाइंट्स जो हमारे इंट्रोडक्शंस होते हैं उनके लिए भी अच्छा. And that is an ecosystem of good. That is a platform which is very, very empowering. And that can lead to what I was talking about earlier, financial independence, financial growth, but through good, through an ecosystem of good. I think that is a very key relationship for us, and it's wonderful to be a part of ICAI. We are very proud to be the title sponsors here at every event. छोटे बड़े हर event में हम पहुंचते हैं, रहते हैं, we come, we acknowledge you, because that is the importance that you have in our lives. And talking about independence, I'd like to say a few more things. Independence is a very important emotion for me. My father's father, my Dadaji, was a freedom fighter. He was the youngest freedom fighter in Bhagat Singh Ji's Toli. He came from wealth. He came from a noble family, a royal family in Punjab, but left everything for the dream of independence. Because he felt that as noble families, as royal families, हमारे सर झुकते थे in front of British Sarkar. So despite all the comfort and wealth and luxury, he walked away from everything to join Bhagat Singh Ji and become a rebel. And that gives me a great sense of pride when I see the Tiranga. My Nanaji fought 3 wars for India, retired as a general, and won the Mahavir Chakra for his bravery in battle, won the Paramveer Seva Medal for his bravery in battle. And when I was little, ना, हम सब ननिहाल जाते थे तो सारे बच्चे नानी के पास सोया करते थे, राजा राजकुमारी ये सब कहानियाँ सुनने के लिए. मैं नाना के साथ जाके सोया करता था क्योंकि मुझे कहानियाँ सुननी होती थी 1971 की लड़ाई की. When I was little. And those memories have stayed with me. तो आज जब मैं तिरंगा देखता हूँ या तिरंगा पहनता हूँ अपने छाती पे गर्व से, I remember my Nanaji. I remember the sacrifices all those people have made to give us the India that we are today. And today we stand in a very lucky position. I hope you all agree with me. भारत का जो आज परसेप्शन दुनिया में है, ये मैंने अपने लाइफ टाइम में नहीं देखा. शायद आप लोगों ने भी अपने लाइफ टाइम में नहीं देखा होगा. आज जो परसेप्शन बना है, और बहुत लोग इस परसेप्शन को क्रेडिट करते हैं पॉलिटिकल डिस्पेंसेशन को, डिसीजन मेकिंग को, ग्रोथ को, इकोनॉमी को, कि भाई इंडिया की इकोनॉमी बहुत बड़ी हो गई है इसीलिए लोग इज्जत कर रहे हैं, या इंडिया की पॉलिटिकल लीडरशिप बहुत स्ट्रांग हो गई है इसीलिए इंडिया को इतनी इज्जत मिल रही है. पर आई फील इट्स समथिंग एल्स ऑल्सो. एक और बहुत बड़ा कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन है. हम NRIs, प्रवासी भारतीय, जो हर देश में हैं, दुनिया के 100 से ज़्यादा देशों में आज इंडियंस बैठे हुए हैं, और एक ऐसी कम्युनिटी है जो ना क्राइम करती है, ना दंगे करती है, ना फसाद फैलाती है, ना किसी को तोड़ने की कोशिश करती है, ना वहाँ पे आइडियोलॉजिकल डैमेज करने की कोशिश करती है. हम वो लोग हैं जो दूध में शक्कर की तरह मिलकर और मिठास लेके आ जाते हैं. And I feel this is our contributions as NRIs, as Pravasi Bhartis living here in UAE. When our local Emiratis, whether it's the rulers, the leadership, or important people, when they speak about India, they speak with so much respect and so much gratitude. That makes me very proud to be an Indian. And we all have contributed for that. It's something that I think today, on this Independence Day celebration, as CA and CA, we should celebrate ourselves also. Jate jate, to make the mood a little lighter, I want to talk about Ankur. Once Ankur was traveling in a plane, and he was sitting next to Elon Musk. ठीक है? अब Elon Musk है, बहुत तेज है, बढ़िया दिमाग है, मतलब टेस्ला, स्टारलिंक, पता नहीं क्या क्या बना के रखा हुआ. तो Elon Musk said कि यार एक काम करते हैं, let's have a bet. मैं तुमसे कुछ सवाल पूछूंगा और अगर तुमने जवाब सही दे दिया तो मैं $100 तुमको दे दूंगा, और अगर तुमने गलत जवाब दिया तो तुम मुझे कुछ मत देना और मुझे सवाल पूछना। अगर मेरा सवाल अगर तुम्हारा सवाल मैं जवाब दे पाया तो मैं तुम्हें $100 दूंगा, और अगर तुम हार गए तो मुझे सिर्फ $10 देना। तो बोला यार ये तो डील अच्छी है। सीए का दिमाग चल गया कि यार मिलने आने इनकमिंग में $100 है, आउटगोइंग में $10 है। बोला यार कमाल आइडिया है, फैंटास्टिक। बोले ठीक है इलॉन भाई पहले आप सवाल पूछो। तो इलॉन भाई ने सवाल पूछा, बहुत लंबा चौड़ा, स्पेस से रिलेटेड, इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल से रिलेटेड। तो अंकुर भाई जो थे हमारे, उन्हें सीधा $10 जेब से निकाले और दे दिए कि भैया अटेम्प्ट भी नहीं करना है, ठीक है रख ले भाई $10। अब बोलते हैं ठीक है, अब मेरा सवाल, इलॉन भैया वो कौन सी चीज है जो पहाड़ पे 2 पैरों पे चढ़ती है और जब उतरती है तो 3 टांगों पे उतरती है? तो इलॉन भैया सर खुजा खुजा के कंफ्यूज हो गए, बोले भाई ये कौन सी चीज है यार, मतलब मेरे साइंटिस्टों ने भी कभी मुझे ये बताई नहीं चीज, कौन सी प्राणी है ऐसी, चलो 2 टांगों पे ऊपर चढ़ती है पहाड़ के ऊपर, उतरते वक्त 3 टांगों पे उतरती है। बहुत कंफ्यूज हुए, बहुत सर फोड़ा। बोला यार अंकुर भाई मैं हार गया तुम्हारे सीए के दिमाग से, लो भाई $100, अब सवाल का जवाब भी बता दो ना। तो अंकुर भाई ने $10 जेब से निकाल के वापस पकड़ा दिए। Thank you so much guys, always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you
Lots of
so
love.
much.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind. All right, how was the address? Cheer him up, come on guys. Thoda taal tej badao. He's put so much of passion into the whole thing, and we bought the independence and then a great story. Really lovely to have you always, Vivek, with us. Thank you so much. So thank you, Vivek Obraiji, for joining us today and addressing all of our members. And now I'd like to request Amit Khetan, and co-owner of B&W Developments. Actually, Brick and Woods has now changed into B&W Development. They're bringing luxury properties, luxury projects in Dubai and Ras Al Khaimah. So we love you. Definitely we love you. All right, I'd like to also request Anish Mehta ji, please join on the stage to present a memento on behalf of all of us to Vivek. So Ankur ji, please, can you join as well on the stage for a quick picture with your brother on the stage? Yay.